funny jerks. Come talk to Dan about your work. Tell him all about your worst times. It's the art of bombing.
Okay, so I 100% know I bombed on this show. And I have no excuses for the bombing part because it was a hot audience, but I was super nervous. So this is the time I bombed on national television for Last Comic Standing. So I did my first round of Last Comic Standing. This was in 2015. And I had a great set. Like I did my 3 minutes. It was super easy. I did my like 7 jokes in 3 minutes. Had a great set. Crushed it. Like judges loved me. Audience was warmed up. Super fun. It was kind of just like, who is this girl? Like people were just like, just this weird girl coming out telling her weird one-liners. Cool. I moved on. Sweet. The next round then, I had to do it like a whole new like 4 minutes of jokes. Should have been super easy. But I was so nervous. Like I was so nervous that like even beforehand, like I was just pacing around and I just didn't want to forget my jokes because I'd had like 4 or 5 months, maybe even 6 or 7 months to work on my first 3-minute set. And I'd done that set hundreds of times. Like I had to go through 3 rounds to even get on Last Comic Standing. I had to pass 3 rounds of judging to then make it on. I got told I made it, and then they said, nope, we need to see you one more time and do one more contest. So like,
wow.
Yeah, so then I made it on. First set went great, but then I had a week to prepare for the next round because they tape them all like really close together. And I hadn't even anticipated I would be moving on. And so I'm like, okay, now I need to string together. It wasn't really that hard, like 5 jokes, but picking, okay, what are the 5 best jokes that I can tell on national television that people are going to love and it will be strong and just that will work together as a set. I can't mention Walmart. I can't mention Taco Bell. I can't like all these different rules. You can't redo. Wow. Yeah, and you can't redo a joke you did before, which is fine. But it's like I've had like my opener and my closer, and I was okay. So I don't have my opener. I don't have my closer anymore. I've had other jokes I can open with, but I just didn't know if they made sense for TV. Anyways, I'm getting all in my head. I go up. The crowd's hot. Everyone's been doing great, but I walk on and I do my first joke, and I was so nervous that the timing was just off and the audience just didn't like, they just didn't really laugh. Like they were kind of just looking at me like, was that a joke? And I'm like, oh gosh. And I know in that moment, I'm like, well, I'm done. Like I'm done. Like you can't, like I'm bombing. And like, how do you get out of it? Yeah. I'm just like, well, I can't do anything except the jokes I prepared. I can't say anything off script in case I say something that I can't say on TV and then they can't use my act. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I'll do my second joke. I did my second joke and it was just nothing. It was just another nothing joke, which I'm like, these jokes are good, but it's not just the material. It's the audience can just see your fear. Yeah. And then I was like, I was in my head, I think I was so sad because like, well, now it's over. I'm going to be on TV bombing forever. Like, what are the judges going to say? And then I was like, okay, well, just do your third joke. And I couldn't remember my third joke.
Oh no.
Nothing was coming into my head. I was just like, okay, so I can't tell a joke I did before. And I don't know what I'm going to do next. And I was just standing there and I was just like in shock, just like, oh my God. And what I did though, I just said, I'm a cat. Meow, 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 meow. And I just meowed until I remembered my jokes. And I meowed for a few seconds, like maybe 10 seconds. And then I remembered my jokes. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I just went into my jokes and I went into my third joke. And I think the audience laughed really hard too when I said, I'm a cat, meow, 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 because I think there was this release of just like, oh, thank God she said something. This was so painful. And then when I told my next joke, they were just like, what is this? Like, I think everyone was it was this relief and they were just seeing me and I think they were just happy for me. I think they're like, yes, okay, good. And so they were laughing, and then like the judges were laughing, and then I like finished off my set, and then my set was just way better than it ever would have been had I not like forgotten my jokes, pretended to be a cat, and then finished off the set. And I was just, so at the end of it too, I was just like, okay, good. Like I did it. I'm not a total loser. I finished the set. And the judges were just so just like wowed by like, what was that? Like, who does that? Why were you a cat? Like that, it just became memorable. And like, it became like this whole new thing beyond just like bombing on TV. Cause it could have, I've cried on stage, I think 3 times. So I could have just cried, but I'm glad I pulled and did something different. And then when it eventually aired, they made it look like it was planned. They swapped the order of my jokes around. So then my closer went first. So I had me have a big laugh, and then they did another joke, and then I think they cut a joke, and then I just go, meow, meow, I'm a cat. And then it goes into my next joke, and then I just have like this solid set all the way through.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like, magic.